We are joined now by someone who we have this. Well, the last time we saw him, we were in invented, rebuilt pub in someone's back garden doing a socially distanced quiz. Of course, welcome Daniel Leigh. Hello.
Hello, mate. How you doing? Hello to you both. You okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Thanks for having me.
No worries at all. So that quiz, when we were allowed to do quizzes, was the last time we saw you.
Yeah, it was. That was a lot of fun. I did a lot of fun that night. I thought I was going to do really, really well. I think I did well on a lot of the movie stuff, but some of the sports stuff eluded me.
Yeah,
somewhat.
I have to say, go on.
There was a streaming round, I think, like which one is the most streamed song, and I think that really confused all of us.
Yeah, and then there was some where you're like, nah, that's not going to have anything at all, and then there's some wild cards in there.
Very much
that
so.
Want You Back. Unbelievable.
Wanting You.
Yeah. I stayed up many a night thinking I should have got that. God, this is how Spotify just ruining everything for everyone.
Love it. But of course you're here because you've released the single for Better Days for the Royal British Legion this year. Obviously we held a minute's silence on Wednesday, and obviously Remembrance Sunday a week tomorrow now. So talk to us about that single and why you chose to bring that out.
Well, it's kind of like bringing it out finally, really, because the single or the record was actually written about 8 years ago.
Right.
So, almost the best part of 8 years, maybe even almost 9 years, and it probably took a year to actually get it recorded, as these things usually do. But every year that sort of went on, like for those of you that are watching the interview, like you can see behind me, there's all these records. All these things were sort of done in the meantime, so from around sort of this point right here, that's where I did right here is where I did my solo record, and all this stuff was done in the meantime. And my solo record was sort of put on the not the back burner, but like I just had all these things to promote. And every time Remembrance Day came around, we're like, we really should do something with that song. And just the time rolled on, and it's finally like this year that I've actually I'd say got up off my backside and done something with it. But it's just like, it just was, we turned something, the lockdown, not being able to go out and tour and everything. It was like, well, let's do something with it now. There's a really great team around me now, and we've done a lot of good with this track, and I've received so many. What's been really nice is actually getting messages from people in the military. And I mean, I have never served in the military myself, so writing a song, putting myself in the place of someone who's a fighter pilot, and actually having military men and women actually message me and saying that really touched me. That's how we feel, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, phew, that job done. Like it's the last thing you want to do is start offending people with saying, oh, what the hell does that long-haired idiot know, talking about. It's being a storyteller. So that was a success for me.
So obviously, where did the idea come from originally? Why did you want to do this? Why did you make sure that you did get it over the line this time?
Where did the song come from? The song, initially I dreamed it. It was a dream. I remember I had this guy. He was on this guitar in my dream, and he's going, you want this? And he goes, you need to wake up. And I was like, I'm so tired. I think I'm going to sleep. And he was like, no, you really do want this. And I woke up, and I had this terrible BlackBerry phone, and it had no memory on it. And I was knocking on Jodie's door, and I was like, Jodie, who presents that at Voice FM. I remember knocking on her door, going, Jodie. And she's like, oh, Dan, what? She's fast asleep. And I'm like, Jodie, can I borrow your phone? And I'm trying to record this, whatever this thing is before it like fade. When a dream sort of fades out of your memory. Yeah. So I got this thing down, and initially it was just this. I don't know, it was a bit of a boring sort of love song initially, and it didn't really have a lot of substance to it. It was like, we're going to live for better days, you and me, baby, yeah. And it was just like, okay, cool. And then having finally put having like that real sort of plot twist to it, and actually removing myself from it and putting myself into a character, and then adding that touch of tragedy. Because for those of you who haven't heard the song yet, it's about an Air Force pilot in World War II who actually leaves to go and fight, and he leaves his girl behind, and they're writing letters to each other and everything, and they're talking about how he's gonna come back, and they're gonna get out of this messed up town, and they're gonna go and live for each other, and it's gonna be better days. Anyway, long story short, spoiler alert, he doesn't make it back. And it's, so adding that sort of hint of tragedy. It's a very tragic song. I could barely sing it like for the first like 500 times I played it, but it sort of brought it to life. And I'm not quite sure. Actually, I do know why I initially did it. I was talking there was a girl I was going out with at the time, and she was doing this project on Winston Churchill, and she was doing this animation or something, and it got me thinking about the sort of things that she was doing. And and then I saw a documentary about this. I just watching a lot of documentaries on this stuff and put the thing together. And in a nutshell, I'm going back through memory lane and thinking because putting these songs together, there's so much that goes into it, and you sort of lose it over the time, and you just kind of go, yeah, it just came to me. It didn't, not just like that. There's a lot of smashing it out.
Do a lot of your songs come from a dream?
Yes.
Just thought I'd ask.
They do. I sleep with dictaphones. Hang on. Let me see. I don't know if you can see it on my phone, but on my phone, like no, you won't be able to see it. But right here, this little app here, that is a voice recorder. So if I wake up in the night, I just go. So many voice messages on this. I like. Gold. And then I fall back to sleep. And then I think that, and I listen to it in the morning. I'm like, did I wake up in the middle of the night? And I listen to it, and it's 9 times out of 10, it's a load of rubbish. And then, and I don't know what I'm at. I was like, I'm pretty sure I thought it was good at the time. But yeah, it does happen a lot. There's a good few of my songs. And I almost can't take credit for them because I'm like, did I write that? Because you sort of like, I don't remember consciously doing it. Yes, someone sort of like sung at me in my head. So it's a weird thing.
I love that. I wish I could do the same. What about you, Dani?
Same, absolutely same. I can't remember my dreams really. Even if I wake up in the middle of the night, I rarely can remember them.
Oh,
weird.
That's sad. Yeah. That is sad. It's a sad time.
Yeah.
So we are going to play the track next. So Dan, I'll leave it to you to introduce it for us.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is my track for Better Days. Please do go to are you guys able to put up any links or anything to for any sponsorship and everything?
Yeah,
please do sponsor me for the British Legion. I put the single actually up on my website for sale. It's £2, and all the proceeds go to the British Legion. So anyway, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is my single for Better Days.
What General Weygand has called the Battle of France is over. The Battle of Britain is about to begin. Upon this battle depends the survival of British life and the long continuity of our institutions and our empire. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duty. So bear ourselves that if the British Empire lasts for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their fighting hour.
With Winston on the wireless, it was July of 41. My training was all over, but the war was not yet done. I smiled and held you tightly as you cried into my arms. Looked up at me with big blue eyes, saying don't come to no harm. Because when I stood up tall, swore that I would never fall. Tell me, what do you see when you see me? Can you see me? Yeah. Cause when I stood up tall, swore that I would never fall. Tell me, what do you hear when you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. We'll stand alone, my dear. We'll get out of here and live for better days. We'll stand alone. fisticuffs and the dogfights in the sky. I wanted to be out here, but I can't remember why. I go up, you're on my mind, the special girl I left behind. Well, that's just the way it goes, so I'll knock them down like dominoes. Cause when I stood up tall, swore that I would never fall. Tell me, what do you see when you see me? Can you see me? Yeah. Cause when I stood up tall, swore that I would never fall. Tell me, what do you hear when you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. We'll stand the Lord, my dear. We'll get out here and live for better days. We'll stand the Lord, my dear. We'll get out here and live for better days. And I thought of you on my way down, the only one who saw right through me. And I called your name on my way down, the only one who stood right by me. And all along the thought of you kept me strong. I wish that I could tell you so, but I fear you'll have to let me go. 'Cause when I stood up tall. I never meant for me to fall. I'm sorry that you'll never see me. You won't see me again. 'Cause when I stood up tall. Never meant for me to fall. But listen for my voice and you'll hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. Now you're alone, my dear. Please get out of here and live for better days. Now you're alone, my dear. Please get out of here and live for better days. Please live for better days. We fought for better days.
It's your Saturday breakfast show with me, Dani, and Matt, and with us as well, still, is Daniel Leigh. Hello.
Morning, Saturday, breakfast time.
There's our little
There's the
jingle.
jingle. Oh, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Breakfast time. Weetabix. Other cereals are available.
Yeah, no branding, please.
Oh, right. So you on? Wait, what day is it? Next Sunday.
Next
You
one.
are headlining the day 2 of Give a Gift.
I am. Are you
Are
guys
you-
crazy?
Are you buzzing for it?
I am. I'm always buzzing. I'd say I'm buzzing for anything which I still enjoy. I live stream every weekday evening. So from 7 till 8. But I buzz for anything that's not that. It's like, oh, actual civilization calling me out of my little box room to do something else other than the things that it's like, yeah, I'm playing. But it's all self. They're my own gigs. But yeah,
Something
thank you for
outside
having
of
me.
something outside of the routine, I guess. Like
Yeah.
something, you know, like yeah.
Yeah, and it's a way to it's a new audience as well, and it's and it's an event which I think is what I like about it as well. So yeah, thank you very much for having me on it
No,
and
no worries.
headlining as well. That's a cool thing.
Yeah. Well, I'd like. How do you do it every night? Obviously, I know you're an artist. You love making music. You love gigging and everything. But every night, that is big.
I don't know. I mean, I've started getting on. I've been going on Twitch a lot, and it's. I don't know if you've you know about the platform Twitch, like Facebook and stuff like this. So
Yeah.
it was usually for gamers, but I see a lot of these Twitch artists, and they're on. They make me feel like I'm like a loser, the amount of times that they spend on there. Like they're just on there like 3 or 4 hours a day. Well, they're not sort of going full pelt like I am sort of every night for an hour, but they noodle away for about like 3 or 4 hours a day. Some of these guys, they're real sort of veterans in it. So I don't know, I think I'm coming up to about 180 hours of live streaming now, since lockdown first began. And when things started to open up again, I didn't really feel the need to stop doing it. So and there had been such this lovely community, and the reason I keep doing it is because there's such a load of amazing energy that comes from all these people that come onto the live stream, and they really care for each other. They've set up whole chat groups where they talk to each other and take care of each other and talk about, you know, their days and everything. And it's almost like I'm background, I don't want to say background noise, but background music to them just getting together. And it's just a place for people to meet up in the evenings, and especially in lockdown when times are just a bit more somber and there's not a great deal going on. Why not have a lunatic like me sing them a load of songs, and they can request things and all that kind of stuff. And it keeps me on my toes as well as a musician, like playing every night and you know, honing my craft. I've bought a whole load of new stuff to you know, to make the experience better. Because when I first started off, I was like, had my mobile phone on a plant pot, and it was like there, and you know, it was just, you know, the Wi-Fi was awful and everything. And now I've got like a pretty decent webcam in front of me. I've got a bit of lighting. I've hooked up all my gear here and here and here. So it's a nice little setup here. And yeah, it's so yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do, but it is the challenge that makes us grosser.
Love it. Well, Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. We look forward to seeing you on Give a Gift, headlining next week on the Sunday. Make sure you head to the Give a Gift Facebook page, and also available on the Voice FM Facebook page as well for the full weekend's music.
Wicked. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks
We'll
for having me.
see you then.
See you.